Hola, hola, amigas. Welcome to another episode of Modern Latina in Midlife. This episode is about how to have it all. I'm someone who has accomplished everything I have set out to create in my life. It didn't just show up for me. I wasn't just a lucky girl who got it all, who had it all handed to me. I had to create my reality very intentionally. I first made many mistakes in life, chose the wrong men, made decisions based on what was expected of me from my family, my culture, from society. And each time those decisions came back to haunt me, I self abandoned in order to fit myself into what I believed was what I needed to do to fit in and to keep myself safe. It took making the wrong choices over and over again and being unhappy and unfulfilled and choosing the same man over and over again, just in different costumes, for me to finally say, wait a minute, what is the common denominator here? It's me. I'm the common denominator. And so I started my journey of intentionally healing and creating a life I desire to live authentically 10 years ago. I created not one, but two businesses that I love. One as a podcast producer, boutique agency, and another as a life and business coach. And now I'm also director of operations for a personal development and coaching company. This is truly a dream for me. I live in a beautiful neighborhood in a house that is turning 101 years old today, or this year, I should say. I'm in the healthiest relationship of my life. I travel around the world and get to work from anywhere in the world. I get to take time off whenever I want to. My sons are healthy and living their lives and their dreams. It's always been a priority to me to allow them the space and freedom to choose to do whatever their hearts desire, because that is not the encouragement that I received from my parents, or really, I should say, from my dad. I have a wonderful group of friends I made for myself as an adult, and we hike together. We travel to different states and even to different countries to hike different trails and mountains. The last time we did was just last year when we hiked Mount Whitney. This was a big accomplishment. I shared my experience about that in a podcast episode, if you'd like to go search for that. I went full into my intuitive abilities and have a group of soul witchy sisters that I channel with. And we do energy healings on each other and channel for each other. We call in our spirit guides. This is a life I once dreamed of. I have more I'm working on, more that I'm working towards, of course, that I am laying down the foundation for right now. I'm creating the path consciously, and I can start to see that path and those bricks being laid out more quickly the more I work on this. And all this that I created for myself, my dreams, I created it within the last 10 years. As a 45-year-old woman, I'm now 54 years old. I've lived through a lot of challenges and obstacles to get here. And I know that if I can turn my life around into something that I truly desire, so can you. So today's episode is about how to have it all. And your all looks different from mine. You don't have to have or have to want what I do. And that is fine. But you can have it all. You have a dream. Maybe it's alive. Maybe you abandoned it years ago or decades ago. You can make those dreams, those goals you work towards. Maybe you have goals that you have set out to accomplish. Maybe you set goals and resolutions for the year and have annual goals, quarterly goals, life goals that you want to hit. And many times that shows up in the way of an action plan. And yes, of course, there's something to be said about having to put action plans in place. We have to take action. It's not just going to show up, fall from the sky on our laps. This is what I talk a lot about when we're talking about the law of attraction or the manifestation world. The Secret really screwed it up for many people because The Secret, the movie The Secret, made it sound like you could just put it out into the universe and it's going to come in and fall on your lap while you're sitting on the couch watching reality TV. And that's not the reality of it. That's just not how it works. I believe in manifestation. I believe in putting your desires and goals out into the universe. However, there's more to that. There's more to what it entails that's going to bring in those manifestations. And part of that is getting in alignment, getting really clear about what you really want at the core versus what you think you want, because that's what you should be doing, because society told you so, or because you're a certain age, or because your family expects it that way. When your goals do not come from a place of authenticity, that is in true alignment with what you really want and who you really are at the core, then it's going to be harder to get there. Or you will accomplish them and still feel completely unfulfilled. This is why so many women have that life that looks completely perfect on paper, and yet they're still unhappy. They still feel unfulfilled. They still feel like something's missing when on paper everything looks amazing and people envy their lives. So it's getting into that full alignment with your authenticity and into the feeling and visualizing and becoming the person that already does that already has that is already there. So becoming that person. So think about what that would look like in your everyday life. The types of friends you would have, the types of activities you would participate in. How would you talk? How would you walk? What kind of books would you read? How would you dress? Once you have already accomplished that goal, those manifestations, what would that be like? You need to become that person first. I know it sounds crazy, but it is. Now, getting to the feeling of what that's going to feel like to get there and aligning your thoughts completely with those manifestations, with those goals. Envision yourself already having accomplished them. That's what it's going to take. And then start acting as that person. And that's not acting as if or fake it till you make it. It's embodying that feeling and embodying that person that's already there. You need to become that first. Now, the other part of the manifestation process includes finding proof that what you desire is possible. When we give our brain proof that it's possible, then it starts to look for more of that in your life. So if you start to feed your brain, oh yeah, look, it can be done. Look, somebody's done it. So if they can do it, I can do it. You start to feed that to your brain, and your brain starts looking for more of those opportunities to show you. For example, have you ever thought about buying a car? Let's just say a white SUV. And it's a very specific model and make. And then all of a sudden, you are seeing that car everywhere you go. That same exact car you want. Everywhere you go. Make, the same model, even the same color. That's because what you're feeding your brain is now looking around for proof of that car. It works the same way with everything else. So whether we feed our brain the outcome that we want, or we feed our brain the opposite of what we want, it's going to look for proof of that. So why not just feed it the good stuff? So if you don't know somebody that has or is doing what you want to do, then visualize it. Visualize yourself being that, having that feeling, that visualization, visualize yourself being there. Paint a movie, create a movie in your mind about that. Visualization is proven, it has been proven to work. There are studies showing that people have accomplished great things by visualizing the outcome. This is actually really, really common in athletics. Visualizing the outcome of what an athlete wants, how they want to throw the ball, how they want to create that slam dunk so that they can help them achieve it, so that the brain already has proof that it can be done and that it's done it already. So visualization is a great way, a great tactic, a great technique to include when you're manifesting or trying to create something, trying to have it all. But also, as I was mentioning, finding proof of somebody else is really great. This is what I call expanders. They expand your brain. They expand the possibilities. It expands your ability to see that the thing that you want can actually be accomplished because somebody has accomplished it. Until you become your own expander. And so what does that look like? What does that look like for you? Start keeping an eye out for people that have already accomplished what you want, that already have what you are manifesting. These expanders can be people you know personally, or people that you follow on social media, or people that you admire, celebrities, thought leaders. For me, because my journey of healing and manifestation started in my mid-40s, it is really important for me to find people my own age, women my age, doing and accomplishing their dreams later in life. Watching a 30-year-old make millions in her business and traveling the world does not work for me. It actually starts to make me feel like I missed the boat. I should have been there already at age 30, at age 40. And here I am in my mid-50s. And those are beliefs and thoughts that I have to work through for sure in my own healing journey and reprogramming my subconscious. But to help create that and get there faster, for me, what works better is finding women in their 50s doing what I want to do. Having started their journey of healing and manifestation and creating the life of their dreams later in life. This is important for my brain to believe that it can be done, to believe that I can do it. That's important for me. So you're going to have to find what is important for you and find the expanders that serve you. Until now I have become my own expander. I have accomplished all the things I have set out to accomplish one by one. The next step in the manifestation process is getting clear on your why for each goal, dream, or manifestation you are calling in. Why do you want that? Go deep. Answer the why, write it down, journal about it, and then when you write that answer, ask why again. And then when you have that answer, ask why again, until you get to the very root of that why, the core root. This is where the magic is. It really helps your brain understand what is at the core of it. And it'll be a really great exercise for you because many times it helps us see that, oh, wait a minute, I'm trying to call in this type of work. And I think that it looks like working one-on-one with clients. This happened for me 2 years ago. And the reality when I got done with this exercise was, for whatever reason, I asked myself, so does it have to be in one-on-one coaching? And I answered my question at the time and I said, no, it doesn't have to be in one-on-one coaching. This is just the way that I see this happening for me right now. And within a month, I had landed myself an opportunity to do the type of work that I was seeking to create, that I was seeking to do with more pay, with the type of people that I wanted to work with on a much different scale. It looked very different. It looked like what has now developed into me being the director of operations for a personal development and coaching company. I did not see that for myself. I did not imagine that for myself. However, in going through these steps that I'm sharing with you and in answering my why specifically is where I discovered oh, wait a minute, this doesn't have to look the way that I'm imagining it, but the feeling that I'm going after is, and then I put that feeling in writing. I envision what that feeling, what I wanted that to be, the difference that I wanted to be making in the world. And so the why helped me get to the bottom of that to then say, this is how I'm envisioning this happening. But of course, I am open to other opportunities that give me this same type of fulfillment and feeling and mission in the work that I do. And the final step and the most important piece of this manifestation process of having it all is healing your wounds, healing your shadows, your childhood wounding, reprogramming your core beliefs that are not serving you or what it is that is keeping you from your dreams, from your desires. You are currently living what you have created to date. What your beliefs at the core, at the root, believe that you desire, that's what you have called in. Those are the experiences that you're living today based on the beliefs that you have. Now, I've shared this with people before and I have encountered resistance. People have argued with me before. People have said things like, oh, so you mean to say that my first husband hit me because this is what I wanted? You think that people end up in domestic violence situations because this is what they wanted and they believe that this is what they deserve? Absolutely not. That is not at all what I'm saying. However, your brain does not believe that you are worth of anything more. There is something in your belief system, in your body, in your psyche, in your memory bank, in your childhood that caused you to believe that you are not worthy of more. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not worthy of being in a healthy, that you're worthy of being in an unhealthy, toxic relationship. No, we never know how that's going to show up. We don't know what's going to show up. However, your belief system can be the one that says, I'm not worthy to speak up. I'm not worthy to stand up for myself. I can't protect myself. I need to stay small. I need to keep myself small. I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy of seeking help. I'm not worthy of being in a loving relationship. I'm not worthy of being treated like a queen. I'm not worthy of love. I'm not lovable. I'm not important enough. I'm not valuable enough. Does any of that sound familiar? Those are all thoughts that can show up for you without you even knowing. Sometimes we don't even realize that we have those thoughts coming up for us until we start to get curious with those feelings and go deeper, dig deeper, become aware and really, really think and work through them. When you're trying to accomplish something, when you're trying to, let's just say, find a husband, let's just say, finding a loving relationship, and deep down inside, let's say you're with your boyfriend for many years and he's not proposing and you want him to propose. And it's becoming this big thing because, my gosh, we've been together for, 3, 4, 5 years. Why isn't he proposing? And then you start thinking, well, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me that he doesn't want to propose to me? Why doesn't he want to marry me? At the surface level, those are the questions that are coming up that we start to ask ourselves, that you start asking yourself. And when you start to dig deeper, those questions turn into these thoughts, these statements of, maybe I'm not worthy. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not lovable. We start to find the reasoning underneath that. I'm not important enough. I'm not valuable enough to be a wife for life to somebody. So what are the thoughts that are coming up for you, going through your mind in that moment? When you sit to think about that situation that is not happening for you, those thoughts are the ones that you have to get very clear on, very familiar with, and work with them. Start to heal them. And sometimes the awareness alone helps to start to heal them. Most of the time, we really need a lot more work to help break those patterns and those belief systems. And that's where you can work with a coach to break those patterns and change those belief systems if you don't know how to do it on your own. But what I'm seeing a lot in the coaching industry, which is what prompted this podcast episode, and even some of my own coaches do this, is that the coach will work with you to find new beliefs to change that thought pattern. So if you're thinking, I'm not lovable, what else could be true? What do we really want to believe? Can you believe that you are lovable? Probably not right off the bat. Okay, I'm not lovable. Most coaches will have you look at, okay, well, what's the opposite of that? I am lovable. But if you start telling yourself that, your brain's not going to believe that right away. So what could you believe? Could you believe that someone loves you? Someone, anybody. Sure. Can you believe that you are capable of receiving love? Sure. Potentially. I've heard people say, no, actually, I don't believe I can receive love. And that all goes back to your childhood wounding and beliefs that you created and developed at a very young age, thought patterns and beliefs that are in the subconscious that you developed many, many, many years ago, somewhere between the ages of 0 to 6, that you've been carrying with you your entire life. So these are just examples, but your answers could be very different. But if you say something like, can you believe that you are capable of receiving love? Maybe the answer is yes. Okay, how do you know that? Well, because my kids love me, or my best friend loves me, or, my dog loves me. Think of the people that really, really love you and care about you and hold you in very high regard. Maybe it's clients. Maybe it's coworkers. Maybe it's your parents. Maybe it's your kids who loves you in that way. Okay, so there you have proof that you are lovable, that people do love you. And can you believe that you're worthy of being loved? Maybe now that you've seen that people love you, maybe that is proof that, oh, you know what? Yes, I am lovable. I am worthy of being loved because people do love me. What else could be true? Maybe you don't love yourself. I am learning to love myself could be a statement that you actually believe. I'm learning to love myself. And then you can give yourself proof that you're learning to love yourself. This is a way of having statements ready when you start to talk to yourself negatively or in a way that doesn't serve you, like I'm not lovable. Then you have statements ready to create that pattern interrupt and say, when you catch yourself thinking I'm not lovable, my boyfriend doesn't want to propose to me, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy. Then you could say, wait a minute, pattern interrupt. You become aware more and more of those thoughts. And you could say, no, wait a minute, I am lovable. My son loves me. My dog loves me. My mom loves me. I love myself. You can start to see those and pattern interrupt. And you can start to create new neural pathways by constantly pattern interrupting and telling yourself, oh no, I am lovable. I am lovable. Look at how lovable I am. I am worthy. I love myself. People love me. I honor myself. And what can you do to show yourself that you are lovable without anybody outside of you? You can take care of your body. And every time you take care of your body and you feed yourself a nourishing meal, that is proof that you are worthy, that you are lovable, that you're loving yourself. And you're learning to love yourself by going out for a walk in nature, maybe exercising, lifting weights, dancing, doing something that your body loves. Maybe it's sitting in a sauna, self-love, self-nourishing. And so you look for proof in that manner, and then you can create those pattern interrupts and create those beliefs and those new neural pathways so that then they become new beliefs that just come naturally. And then you can start to develop those new subconscious beliefs that will then give you different results. And that's possible. And the problem that I have with that, for me, this is a little bit of a spiritual bypassing. It can work, but I personally find that it's a little bit of a toxic positivity. It's a bit of a spiritual bypassing kind of way of doing things. It's a bit of the only high vibes welcome. No bad thoughts, no negative thoughts here. And I say a bit because they do address the negative thoughts and the thoughts that don't feel so good, which is great. But the solution that they're offering is, what's the positive thought, which is great. How do we reverse that to pattern interrupt? And yes, there's something to be said about that, because what we feed our brain is that constant proof, right? If we're going to feed our brain anything, let's feed it positive. Like, for sure, I agree with that. But it is so hard to truly change your belief system at the core by simply doing that, by simply switching your belief to a positive statement without addressing the core or addressing it at the root of where that thought came from to begin with. Now, we don't have to necessarily get to the root of it, but we do need to at least get close to and try to address it at a much deeper level, at the subconscious level. All of this positivity, it's all in the conscious mind. It all comes from the thought, from the brain. Okay, if this doesn't work, how can I flip it? It's all working from the mind, from the neck up, from your head, from your thoughts, from your brain. And it's powerful. But when we start to work at the root of where that thought was created to begin with, and if not where it got created, where it was reinforced in our lives from childhood through adulthood. So we go and address it, and we find it, and we work with it, and then we can heal it at the root, at the subconscious level. And then making statements like, I am lovable, aren't just pattern interrupts of, oh, let me remember to do this at the brain level, at the conscious thinking level, making statements like, I am lovable, I am beautiful, I'm amazing, I am queen, I'm empowered. Those statements can actually become not only believable, but a part of who you truly are when you heal the root at the subconscious level. Not that rewiring our thoughts by repeating affirmations doesn't work. It does work. I just believe that it takes so much more work, and it takes so much longer for an affirmation to completely reprogram your subconscious when all you're doing is just giving yourself the opposite thought, as opposed to really, truly working with the root of it and healing it at the subconscious level, at that deep level. When you create that pattern interrupt at the root and heal it, those statements become not only believable, but you embody them. And so when we talk about having it all, achieving it all, having all the things, all the experiences and the feelings that we want, it's achievable. It's totally achievable. Maybe not from one day to another, and 100% not by toxic positivity and spiritual bypassing. I can have it all. You can have it all. I can have it all. Although I do love walking around saying not only I can have it all, but I love saying I have it all. I really do have it all. I have accomplished everything in my life that I have set out to accomplish. Some things have taken longer than others. I had to go find a way to actually make them happen when I realized I had derailed from my dreams significantly. And I had to go through this journey of learning and all the challenges and struggles that I've gone through in life. They've been a part of that journey. But I have now accomplished everything in life that I have wanted so far. I am accomplishing everything. Everything is being created as we speak. It's not going to show up the next day necessarily. Some things do show up pretty quickly, though, when we do this work. And I will tell you, it happens when I go deep, when I go do that healing work to find the root cause of something and bring it to light, shine a light on it and bring it to life, bring attention, awareness to it, and reparent it, reprogram it at that deep subconscious level. When I do the deep work, shortly thereafter, manifestations come through. Because now my frequency is at a different level. My belief system has changed. I've reprogrammed my belief system. And then the things that I want and that I'm desiring to come through, it's an energy. My thoughts are now at a different frequency or energy. Like attracts like. And so this is the difference between the way that I coach, which is largely based on the adult chair model created by Michelle Chalfant. And with that, I blend all my other skills and my wisdom and my knowledge and certifications and energy healing and my intuitive abilities. And of course, my experience, my life. I'm in my mid-50s. And with that comes a lot of experience. And I've lived through a lot of challenges and struggles. I can help you through a lot because I have lived a lot. I've been there. I've been through it. I've walked the walk. And with that comes wisdom and credibility and knowledge. That's the difference between the way that I work and some of the other life coaching models out there that are based on, let's flip the switch. Let's find an affirmation that's opposite to that limiting belief that you have. And let's repeat it 1,000 times and write it 1,000 times and journal it about it all the time. I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I just think that there are quicker, faster, more effective ways of getting there that will have more lasting, transformational results, even if you don't want it. It's like once you heal that piece, that part, that limiting belief, once you heal that, it's healed for life at a subconscious level. So I was on the coaching call the other day with my coach, and it was a group coaching call. And this woman came on to share that, I need to really get back on it. I really need coaching again because a couple of years ago, my thoughts were really high and really positive and all the things were going well. And then I stopped and now I've lost everything and I'm back to square one. My business is back to zero. And I was like blown away that just a few years ago, this woman was making millions. And here she was 2 years later at zero. Because, in my opinion, her thought pattern, and this is based on what she said and what she shared and what she got coached on the call, the thought patterns were this positive, this toxic positivity. Oh, I'm not this, so I'm going to be this. I'm going to think these thoughts because that's opposite of what I'm believing. So I'm going to think these other thoughts. And that works, in my opinion, for a very limited amount of time and for very limited manifestations. And when you stop that, you revert back to the thoughts that are natural for your body, your subconscious to believe. But when you do the deep work to heal that at the root, you don't even have to think about it. Your subconscious already knows it. You've embodied it. And the final step of my manifestation process is that piece, the embodying it, basically nervous system regulation, so that you are able to keep that and hold that and embody that permanently. I've worked with clients before where we worked on something, when we worked on at that deep level of healing the root cause, and maybe somebody who once had a fear of flying. We worked on it. We healed it at the subconscious of what that fear was. And then they went and got on a flight and everything was cool. And then a few years later, when I talked to them like, hey, how's the flying going? Like, how's the fear? They're like, oh, shoot, I totally forgot I was once afraid. It's not even a thing anymore. Like, that's the level of deep transformational work that I'm talking about, where you don't have to think about it anymore. You don't have to write the affirmations anymore because you've embodied it. You've embodied that transformation. And this is how you can have it all. It doesn't come with no work. Of course it does. And yeah, you're going to need an action plan. But underneath all that, there's work to be done. Why aren't you there? There's a reason why you're not there. It could be that you didn't take those steps to create that. But why didn't you create those steps to get there? Are there subconscious beliefs that are keeping you? Why are you procrastinating? Why aren't you doing what you know you should do? Why aren't you feeding your body nourishing meals and going to the gym regularly when we know that these are the things that we have to do to have the body that we want, or to feel good in our bodies, or to nourish our bodies, to give ourselves longevity of life? We know what we have to do. Many of us can sit here and write a whole list of things that we need to do. And many of us start the new year, the Gregorian New Year, with that list. And what happens 3 weeks in? We drop them. Why? Because the subconscious mind cannot believe that you can do it. And this is why every single year people write down the same damn goals over and over again. But we can move beyond that. There is transformation. So I know it because I've lived it. I've lived it myself many times. I have many manifestations and many things that I have created intentionally from a place of true authenticity, from a place of this is what I truly desire, not just what I'm expected to do as the eldest daughter of immigrant parents, et cetera, as a sister, as a spouse, as an employee. No, from me, from my authenticity, from what I truly desire, what is the life that I really want? Getting clear on that and going through this manifestation process that I just shared with you. So, if this is the type of transformation that you are seeking, something that is going to have quick results and transformation for life, and would be interested in one-on-one coaching, I'd love to welcome you to book a consultation with me, and then we can discuss what that is for you and what you're trying to accomplish. What goals do you have? What does having it all look like for you? And we can discuss if maybe we're a right fit for each other. And we can start working on it. Not just on making the plan and making the list, but also on working on what are the things that are keeping you from those things, that have kept you from those things thus far. So you can reach me by emailing me at sonia@soniasdesk.com and book a consultation. Just tell me that you want to book a consultation, a 1 hour consultation where we will go through all the areas of your life, where you're at, where you want to be, and we'll talk about what it is that you're trying to accomplish. I'll drop the link to my booking calendar as well in the show notes so that you can just go straight in there and book a consultation. You don't have to email me. And what if you're wanting to do this in life? Not just working on yourself, but working on on your subconscious beliefs, but also helping others create transformation. If that's you, I'd love to invite you to the Adult Chair Coaching Certification Program by my mentor and friend, Michelle Chalfant. It is currently open for enrollment for the 2026 cohort. And if this is something you're interested in, then DM me or email me because I can get you a coupon code for a discount for enrollment. You're going to be doing some deep inner healing work in this program. I promise you, you are going to walk out a completely different person in 6 months. Not only are you going to be doing deep personal work, you're going to firsthand be taught by Michelle directly on how to coach others, how to help others create transformation using the adult chair model, working with energetics part work, learning to trust your intuition. And there's a business component as well where we are going to teach you, and I say we because I work with Michelle Chalfant in this program. Personally, hands-on, I will work with you. I will teach you how to start your own coaching business. We will actually be working on that simultaneously as you are learning to become a coach, on how to set up your business. What kind of business legally do you need to set up? What kind of coach are you going to become? Who are you going to serve? What kind of people are you going to attract into your business? How can you get clients? We're going to work with our in-house copywriter on creating the content for your website. You get a complete personalized website with the enrollment tuition that will launch at the end of the 6-month training program, so that at the end of the 6 months, you are actually ready to book clients. You're a completely different person. You're going to go through amazing transformations, and you're going to have aha moment after aha moment. And then you're also going to be learning simultaneously on how to help others create that type of transformation so that you can become a coach as well to help others create the life that they want, to break out of old patterns, old limiting beliefs, to stop spinning and being stuck and working on those beliefs that are keeping them stuck in life and a life that they don't desire. So if that calls to you, head on over to theadultchair.com/certification for more information and to enroll. And if you have any questions, you can book a call there on that website page with Michelle or myself, and we will get on the phone with you. Or you can reach out to me directly on email, sonia@soniasays.com, and I can answer any questions that you have about this program, get you a coupon code for a discount for the enrollment, and I will link all of that for you in the show notes. And thank you so much for being here. Send this episode to a friend who feels like they're struggling, or maybe life looks amazing on paper, but she's feeling like something is missing, or like she's not living the life that she was really meant to live. Maybe that's you. And if you know somebody in that position, send this episode to her. You can have it all. I promise you, you can have it all. I know it. Hasta la próxima, amiga.